New gen.
What's up, new gen, old school? I am back again.
Is this a Jordan show now?
Yeah, let's start peer pressuring Tanner to let me on the podcast more.
Let you on the podcast.
Yeah, because I'm a little bored.
Yeah.
So.
I've got so much extra time on my hands. I just want to come annoy you with it.
Do a podcast.
Do a podcast.
Spread the gospel.
Yes.
What's new with you lads? You chaps. We haven't seen you in forever.
I
At least
haven't
on
gone
the
dude,
podcast, but
since
yeah.
we've done the last podcast. I have not gone to the bathroom.
I told you to.
Really?
Yeah,
That's been a while now.
Oh, I'm dumb.
it's been like 15
I thought you were
years.
making a joke of like you hadn't peed since like 2 weeks ago or something. I'm like, haha, good one, Jordan.
No, it's been like
Oh,
15
if you're talking about the last episode we recorded, that was a month ago.
That we actually recorded and posted. Dang.
He hasn't peed in a month. He's been holding.
Have you ever
it
told
in.
our listeners that
I
you
might
only
have a
shower
problem.
every other week, every Tuesday,
Only shower every other Tuesday?
every other Tuesday?
Did I? You think I do that?
No. Have you told them that's what you do
Yeah,
yet?
nice
We
one.
already know it's true.
Have you broken that habit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you did.
so how often do you shower now?
Like twice a day.
Oh crap!
Once in the morning and once at lunch.
What happens between morning and lunch? How dirty are you getting?
I gotta make my food.
He just went swimming in a pool of baby lotion.
Does your microwave,
baby oil.
does your microwave always malfunction when you make your lunch?
You know the
Not again.
You know the meme of Batman when he like the fire in the Batman movie, the most recent one where like the guy blows up and Batman's like, that's me in the microwave. That's why I have to shower at lunch. My lasagna went everywhere, and I mean everywhere.
Every day.
Every day, my lasagna.
I just go in and I hit 10 minutes on the microwave and I walk away until the last minute and I open it and it explodes on me every time. I don't understand what's so wrong.
It's probably because you leave a fork in there or something.
Oh my gosh, it just
Oh, Mama June's lasagna is all ruined.
Jordan, this is the 5th microwave we've had to replace this week. It's Thursday. Stop using the microwave.
I'm sorry. I just want my
Hair in my mouth.
lasagna to be cooked.
It's an Uncrustable. You don't even need to cook it. It's a PB&J.
Anyways,
And then James, since the last time you were on the podcast, you've had like what, 3 kids?
3 kids. Wow. No, I've had one, just like the last time I was on here.
the kid was already
You've had
born.
one more kid? I mean that
No.
you already had one, and then you've just now had 3 more kids.
That's not
No.
possible.
How was your pregnancy?
How was my pregnancy?
Yeah, no one wants to ask. How did you do during that?
Going well.
Holy crap! I hope that shows on the camera how freaking crazy that was, dude.
I did that.
That actually,
So
One of you asked a really interesting question. What was
I
that?
just got myself super
You asked
lightheaded.
me what about?
how did you do during the presidency? No one wants to ask
The
that.
presidency.
Well, the last 4 years sucked.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, how did I do during, what was that, 2022? Yeah, it was all 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, your pregnancy.
Everyone's always.
What's it like
asking
being
the mom.
a terrified soon-to-be father? And like when you were like waiting for when Elena was pregnant, and you're just as terrified. You have to take care of her, and no one cares how you're doing. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of do a lot of the same things that she does, or at least that's just what I ended up doing. So she worked a lot during her pregnancy. That was her personal choice. And she would come home at like 4, and she would sleep from like 4 to 8. And then she'd wake up, we'd have dinner, and then we'd go to sleep. And sometimes I would join her for nap time, and we would just sleep all day. Yeah. And
There you go.
She was always like, yeah, go get me Taco Bell. We live right down the street from one. We got Taco Bell all the time. And
Am I pregnant? This is what I'm going through.
it was not a bad...
Taco Bell and sleeping for 4 hours in the day, and then having another 8-hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Dang.
Have you ever heard the joke about the relationship 20 or the relationship 30? You ever heard that?
Like healthy relationship weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That year I gained probably, because I was like 155 when we got married, and currently I think I'm like 180. I don't think I've changed all that much in terms of how I look.
Yeah, that's
I'm just
surprising
dense.
to me.
I'm like thicker. I don't know. I'm like a
thicker.
neutron star. I just
There you go.
yeah.
How many C's thick are you? 2?
Sure.
Okay.
At least 5.
Thick with 2 C's. Jordan, how thick are you? Just kidding.
Wow.
We don't have to talk about weight on here. I'm open with
Yeah,
mine.
I'm offended. Hey, please read our verse from the Holy Scriptures.
Dude, I can't even get to 155. Anyway, I'm trying. I can't do it.
He's still trying to get to 110.
I'm basically a paperweight at this point. I'm Flat Stanley.
And the 4 sodas you drink a day and the
That was
bajillion
one
snacks.
day. Okay, somebody out there is going
You
to get
ate
this.
so much snacks from Josh's office. I had to go buy him snacks at Walmart. That's how much you ate from his little stand.
Dang.
Are those not stocked by the
No
facilities?
You ate his Mr. Beast chocolate.
Wait, are those his snacks?
I think so.
I thought that was just part of the church because they stock snacks in the
That's in his office.
in the green room.
All the stuff that-
Yeah, I know, but he offered them to me like it was just part of like the.
Maybe you
thing.
should ask. Well, I mean, maybe he buys it with cards.
You're gonna say
Oh,
maybe
okay.
you should ask before you eat it. Is that what you're gonna
Yeah,
say?
you should ask for
No,
you
he
eat 'em.
offered them to me. No, and literally that would make sense
'Cause
because
Paul-
literally today I was in his office and
So
we
they're
were
like,
just talking.
Tanner ate all our Mr. Beast chocolate, so can you go get us more while you're at Walmart?
I had one. It was actually Paul was eating all their chocolate. I had one bar.
It's actually the chocolate is actually good.
Alrighty. Well, this is episode 2 of the series we're starting on Romans. Oh, you didn't know this. You
We're
didn't know
starting a
this.
series?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about this as if they haven't.
He
heard
didn't
it
listen to
already.
last week's episode.
Was it out yet?
We just recorded it 2 hours ago, so
It was a joke.
1 hour ago.
Oh,
He's just.
I was
giving
like, oh no.
Anyways, last week, guys, we talked about how we're doing a series in Romans now.
Yeah, so James did clue you in on a little bit, and I told them there was literally like, including this episode we wanted to record, and the last episode that Jordan and I wanted to record, and then there's 2 other episodes with 2 different people that they wanted to do episodes. And then on the Sunday morning service, they were talking about Romans, and we were like, man, it'd be so cool to like do topics that are led by a book in the Bible. And I started reading through Romans, and it was literally like the last episode we just talked about kind of like what it looked like for us to go into ministry and what it's been like in our experience in these first month, or this first month. And there's the intro, talked about, being in ministry or whatever. And then here today we're talking about casual Christianity, and that was boom right there. And then the other 2 topics were boom, boom, and then another one. And I was like, I guess we're starting it today because it's literally, it's in line. So it's kind of cool. I love
Sweet.
God. He's just, it's cool how he like orchestrates that. Like,
Yeah.
even somebody who is going to be on the podcast soon that I didn't know 2 weeks ago.
Dang.
And now we have a great connection. We've been talking a lot, and it was perfectly in line with this series.
Awesome.
So like, it's so freaking cool. But yeah, so welcome. You didn't even know, but welcome
Yes.
to the second episode of our series in Romans. So
Sweet.
yeah.
What's the verse?
All right, verse for the day is out of verse 16 and 17, I believe.
Chapter what?
1.
Okay.
Right, we're still right in the beginning.
Oh, you're just going straight through Romans.
Yeah, we're like literally
wow.
going, and then as soon as a verse like changes to a new topic and gives some insight on that topic, we're just gonna take that, reflect on it, and then talk about it.
Sweet.
Whatever. So, verse 16 starts with, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith for faith, as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith."
So today's topic is
Casual
casual
Christianity.
Christianity.
Casual Christianity.
Are you like a kid's show that's like, do you see the envelope?
Did you see the casual
Because that's
Christian?
what we did today. At
Can
work.
you say envelope? Oh, really?
Yeah, we recorded for the kids' curriculum, so it's like,
That
can you
makes
say
so much more sense now.
Jesus is our Savior and King? Say it with me. Jesus is our Savior and King. Good job, guys. See you next week. That's literally
Did you record that today?
no.
Oh.
No, but his mentor did. That's so okay. That explains so much in the last
Wow.
episode. I was like, wow, why is he like really leaning into like this Dora the Explorer esque like kind of like, can you say Azul?
Can you say that? That's because
Azul. That's right. You know,
Because I watched my boss/mentor record those lines for like an hour and a half.
I'm the Bible. I'm the Bible. I'm the
I'm the Bible.
but see, so that's the real reason why Jordan is so immature. It's not because he is a child. It's because he spends all day around children. You know, it's a product of
Rubs off on
association kind of thing. Isn't that right, Jordan?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, cool. I actually didn't think he was going to agree with that, but I have that on recording now, so sweet.
I mean, we talked about Star Wars and Wilrow Hood for like a good 30 minutes today.
Did you educate them
Wait,
on Will Rose?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Luke thought he was like,
the-
awesome. Good for you.
This is Wilrow Hood.
We don't have time. Go look up Wilrow Hood. What
Is that a
legend.
Jedi?
He's carrying an ice cream
No.
maker in
He's-
Empire Strikes Back.
He's a background character that's
Oh,
carrying
I know
a
what you're
real
talking
life
about.
ice cream maker, but they made lore that he was carrying something secret for the rebellion. But in real life,
the
it's
secret recipe to ice cream.
They can't
Yeah.
have my ice cream.
in real life, it's a 1970s ice cream maker.
Wow.
But in Star Wars lore, it's like a secret thing for plans, like secret something.
You can take my life, but you can't take my ice cream.
Anyways, so yeah,
This baby got me through college.
His ice cream maker. Anyways, what were we talking about? Casual Christianity.
What we're doing right now. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How should we start with this? Maybe, should we start? Let's see.
Yes, we should
Jordan. Jordan, what's it? James, you and your dad jokes. Jordan, what is a time that you have been guilty of being casual with your faith? I want to single you out first. Just
Probably
because I can.
never. I've always just taken my faith seriously.
I'm gonna knock your chair over.
Yeah. How about you go first?
How about you're a liar? Let me think about it. Yeah, no, probably not. I'm just kidding.
The other week.
We didn't prepare very well for this episode, did we?
I
Just
feel like I
wanna go
did,
first.
but I don't want to dive straight into some of these quite yet.
Fine, I'll go first. Yeah, so for me, I felt like my casualness, I think a lot of people, the most common type is show up on a Sunday, check the box, and you live however you want the rest of the 6 days, and church is just whatever on a Sunday. That's the one thing you do. You say you're a Christian, but yeah, you're not living it out. For me, I was like that, but not in that, like I was, but I wasn't that. I was like that, but on a long-term basis. So it wasn't like I pretended to be Christian and checked a box on a Sunday, but it would be, I was truly following Christ and reading my Bible and just trying to do everything I could in that realm for maybe a couple weeks, a month, whatever you want, you name it. And then, when things got tough, I would just kind of turn towards, the things that I was winning in the world, whether it was like, pornography or Tinder hookups or even stuff that's like can be morally neutral, like video games and, binging Netflix. Like for me, it was bad because it was like, I was using that as like a numbing thing and things like that. And so for me, it was like that. It was on a very long-term basis. So I would do that for a month. When things got too bad, I would turn back to God, be all in for Him for another month or a couple weeks, and then turn back again, live the way I wanted for a couple weeks, and very back and forth like that. So not so much like the popular thing nowadays is just to pretend on a Sunday. I was either all in or all out. I was never half and half constantly.
That's a good way to look at that. I feel
and that's kind of just what my journey was before and I haven't been perfect this past year, but this entire year, I've read the Bible more than I ever have before. I've put Jesus first more than I ever had before. And that's, and I haven't been perfect in that by any means, but that's just, besides this year, that's kind of how I lived a lot of my life. At least besides this year, the last 4 previous years, that's how I lived with my faith, was just either all in or all out, and it was for a couple weeks, month at a time. So
that's good for me to hear you be like honest about that. Of like you weren't like half and half. You were either all in or you were all out. I just this past week, I think we're all fans of Jonathan Pokluda and his podcast. He talks a lot about his Q&As that he does, that people usually start their questions with, my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my friend is a Christian, but they have a problem with XYZ sin. And the fact that that's framed in that way sounds a lot like maybe what you used to maybe think of yourself as, like, oh, I'm half in, half out. But in reality, it's, no, you're not really being a Christian at all. It's you're either are or you aren't.
I think if someone were to, I never had it happen, but if someone were to be like, oh, are you a Christian? I'm like, yeah, but I'm really not doing anything with my faith. Like, I'd be honest about it. Wouldn't try to show up front, but I'd be like, yeah, no, I believe in Jesus. I believe in God, but yeah, like, I'm not. I haven't read my scriptures in a while. I haven't attended church recently, and when I have attended church, I was thinking about what if the lights fell right now? Like, it was just, what if Darth Vader showed up on stage and I started battling him?
Excuse me.
But or I would just. But my mind.
Oh, hold on! Don't try to just pose that like that's normal. He's just in his mind. He's just like dun dun. Dun, 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 dun. You know, like just oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Watch out!
I'll save you.
But no, yeah. So,
Pastor,
yeah.
duck.
So I don't think I would have ever lied to anybody that I was trying to put on a front. But yeah, I wasn't happy with the way I was living. But I think I just I didn't get to that point where Jesus was real enough for me. So
I think probably what I'm most guilty of, because like I came to my faith pretty late, and then since then I've been pursuing pretty hardcore in general. Like I put away the things of the world and focused on my faith. But I think probably the thing I'm most guilty of, I never went like back, but I would say I'm probably most guilty of not prioritizing. You know what I mean? Like, especially being like, yeah, I know I need to take time with the Lord in the morning. Like I know it's so important. I know it starts my day. I know it's the way I should start my day. And then over and over and over and over again, still not doing it because I'd rather sleep. The funny thing for me though is what's been happening, because I'm still guilty of this. I'm still 100% guilty of not making time in the morning for God on accident. Well, I don't even know if you can say if it's on accident, but just like not getting out of bed early enough in the morning. And what's been happening is kind of like this self-fulfilling prophecy, because I've prayed like, God, will you like help me make time for you? And I don't know. I don't want to like blame this on him if it's not. I wake up every single night at like 2 or 4 a.m. Like in the middle of the night. And legitimately, like it's happened so many times, I'm just convinced it's not a coincidence. Because literally, if I wake up at 2 a.m., I will not be able to go back to sleep unless I pray. And I will literally take time and I will talk with God and I will pray. And I will fall asleep within like half an hour. Like I'm right back to bed. And it's awesome. And I wake up pretty well rested, you know? If I don't, and I just like sit and like scroll on my phone, I will be up until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like literally. And then I'll barely fall asleep. And then I'll wake up and I'll be like, like just drag my face off the pillow and just like, yeah, I guess I'm going to be productive today somehow. My brain is mush. I'd say that's probably what I'm most guilty of.
I feel like a lot of Christians that were in that realm of where you were describing, Jordan, of like, oh, I'm half in, half out. I feel like for them, if they were to, maybe some people would think, oh, if I try to go all in, that just sounds really legalistic in my life. How would you guys combat that mentality? Like legalism? Like, is that wrong? Or is that like the right way to go about it to make habits?
Yeah. I think the heart around it depends how you define legalism. I know there's probably one definition, but I think people take that a certain way. I saw a meme recently. It was talking about I don't think you sent it to me, but it was when SpongeBob and Patrick are okay, I don't know, it's a meme. But anyways, they're in a little ride and they're scared and they're on the little kids ride and it goes woo, and they like woo, and they're like screaming, but it's a little tiny bump and it was saying people reflecting on their church hurt when they were younger, and it was just so.
Oh my god!
So there's legitimate legalism,
I was like, I
and then
can't wait
there's
to see where this
people
goes.
like, oh, my pastor said I should read my Bible. It's like, God forbid. I don't know. Yeah. So the heart around
don't tell me.
Yeah, the heart around legalism is just not enough. Or not. I won't say the heart around it like it's an end all be all, but yeah, it's just it kind of depends what it is. But yeah, is there grace in it? Because there's things you should be doing in your faith walk that helps you get closer to the Lord.
Right.
And so it's saying you don't do those things. It's like you're clearly not going to go, but I don't want to beat you on the head. And obviously it's like you don't want to do it, so why am I going to keep pushing you to do something you don't want to do? Because clearly it's not like God's not a priority for you right now. But it's clearly a recipe. Like, you know, you know, these are literal practical things you could do to to help your relationship with God. And I think people take it a certain way. And there's probably worse, like I said, worse backgrounds where people are very, like churches are very toxic and things like that. And it's you have to have no crinkle on your shirt and you must wear a tie. And you have to be at church for 6 hours. And no Sunday football. And
maybe that's what some of those casual Christians might be thinking of being called to, like, hey, called to change type of thing. Maybe they're thinking, I don't want to be in my Bible 24 hours a day. It's like, I would say I'm not as a casual Christian as I used to be, and I'm not even in my Bible 24 hours a day, but I know for people that aren't even in their Bible at all, they're probably on their phones.
Yeah, it's more heart-wise. How are you with God?
Right.
Because no matter what, it's all about what truly God thinks. Because it's like, you could try to put on a front to people all day long, but it's like, what's that going to do you at the end? It's not us you're trying to please, it's God, or it's not us that judges, it's God at the end. In the sense of, like, you're only hurting yourself by doing that.
My thoughts on that in general, like the legalism of like doing, whatever. I think you touched on something interesting because I realized there's definitely two different perspectives of that. One from somebody coming back from like a works-based religion, that kind of stuff. Like, for anybody that has a background, I hope they understand that, like, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about checking boxes and then God will let you be close to him, like doing more for him. Like, there's nothing you can do for him. He doesn't need you, but he wants you. He loves you.
You need him.
Yeah, you need him. That's what from our perspective, I just want to clarify that when we're talking about like doing things to not be a casual Christian, we're not talking about checking boxes and being holier than thou. We're talking about, like, you say you have a faith. Does it actually change your life? Does it actually change the decisions that you're making? Because, like, if I say I'm a Christian and yet the things that I believe to be true and the things that I do with my life don't match the Bible at all, then stop yanking God around like he doesn't know your heart. Like, just be honest. If you are not a Christian, you're just not. Just say you're not a Christian. But to masquerade as one and then live like the world. Like, I don't remember exactly where the verse is, but I think somewhere in Matthew or whatever. But like, to not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know what I mean? Like, when we're talking about having these spiritual disciplines and that kind of stuff and not being casual about your relationship with God, it's because why would you possibly, under God's green earth, why would you possibly treat your relationship with the creator of the universe and the creator of you and the God of the universe, why would you treat that relationship casually when you know the sacrifice that he went through to make that relationship possible for you? You know what I mean? Like, without Jesus' sacrifice, you are excommunicated. Without his sacrifice, you're gone. But he came down on a rescue mission and he brought you back to himself just so you could ignore him. Like,
there's a good verse.
Crazy.
Oh, sorry. Did you have something?
I was just gonna say, like, casual. Like, you. I think people who are casual don't truly grasp that. And not saying like, and maybe this is like, it's not legalism, but it's not like you won't have periods where you feel casual, like God feels far. You're definitely gonna have seasons where life gets busy, and it's like, man, I feel like I haven't prayed recently. I feel like I haven't spent time with him, and my Bibles, I haven't spent time in the Word in maybe a week or so. Like, life gets busy, and I'm not saying those types of things or those situations like people are casual Christians. It's like, no, I think it's more of a heart thing and if you want to call it a lifestyle, in a sense of like, how are you really living for God? In the general sense, what's the fruit on the tree? What's the, that type of thing. But
I like that. A verse I had written down that I was actually reading today. It's James 4:17. It's one of my actually favorite verses.
No freaking way.
Is that what you just turned to?
I was just pulling that up.
Were you actually?
Oh my God, I love you.
I actually really like the NIV translation of this verse. I think it does it more justice in terms of the meaning. And it says, "If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them." So I think.
The ESV just says, so whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is a sin.
I don't know. I don't want to sound like a know-it-all Bible person, but I'm like, I feel like just reading that verse alone, it's like, okay, you know the things that you should be doing to improve your faith, and that's spending time in his word, intentionally reading, praying, not just praying to pray, but praying to talk to him, you know, and not being casual about it of like, I don't need to. I'm saved, or I'm taken care of. It's all good.
I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Right. I wonder if people think, because to be honest, I've never really mapped too much with like the mentality of casual Christianity, just because my view of God has determined my response to him. You know what I mean? And my view of God ever since I started pursuing my faith was, it was very easy for me to understand how massive and how powerful, how strong he was. It took me time to delve in and understand more and more about how forgiving and loving he is. Yeah. So the casual side of things, I think, is on the side of like knowing that he's loving and forgiving, but forgetting how amazing he is and how much you want to have a relationship with him. Yeah. And so I never really mapped with it too much, but like, I don't know, like it's hard for me to, you know, hear people say like, oh, I'm a Christian, whatever, and I had no idea. Yeah. You know, like, does that sound weird? Like, no. Like, I couldn't have guessed. Yeah. Like, I feel like when people find out that I'm a Christian, they're not finding out. They knew from forever ago. And it's not just because I have a cross tattoo on my arm. Right. It's because I try to make sure that everything I do is mapping with the teachings of the one who I follow, the one who I worship. Yeah. Yeah. And I hope that, you know, that people understand, like, for those of you who are claiming to be Christians, you may be the only Bible that someone ever reads. And is that really the impression that you want people to get from God? Yeah. That like, oh, I see, Christianity is just a cop-out for them to, you know, sin as much as they want, party as much as they want, drink as much as they want, sleep around as much as they want, because they know God will forgive them. Right. And I'm like, it makes me sick. Like,
it's not how it works.
Yeah, not to out this kid, but like there was a time at
proceeds to out him.
Yeah, Jordan. You know, just this guy named Jordan. Not this one, different one. Just kidding. No, but literally, I was waiting in line once, or waiting for my food at a restaurant once, and like there is this kid and just like a pack of teenage boys or whatever that were. Just, you know, kids are being kids. They're just kind of being, you know, stupid, sinful, same way that we were, you know. I don't think I ever did stuff like they were doing, but I'm no better than them. But he was like walking, because there was nobody who looked like watching the front. It was like one of those restaurants that has like kiosks to like take the order. And he was like walking behind the counter and like taking cups and stuff like for his friends or whatever that they did not pay for. Jeez. And like doing these kind of things, and he was wearing a cross.
No, really?
And yeah, I know that was my reaction. I was like, dude, come on. And someone
just go up to him. You don't deserve it.
Dang, I should have done that. Don't do that. No, but like one of the workers had to be like, hey, will you stop coming back here or whatever? And he's like, well, sorry, no one's out here to get him for me. And they're like, that doesn't mean you walk back here, you know, whatever, just being a punk kid. And he went to walk like by me, and I just kind of like put my hand on him like as he was walking by, and he just like paused, like looked at me, and I was like, hey, you should probably take that off.
You did. You said that.
Yeah. And he was like, huh? Like it looked like his like soul left his body, and I was just like, I'm not gonna criticize you for what you're doing, but like you should at least don't give him a bad name, you know, whatever. And then they called my food, I grabbed it, and I left. I don't know if that was the right thing to do.
That's like the best thing to do. You were nice
and I kept it quiet. Yeah. I don't think anybody heard. I wasn't like, hey, you take that. But I was like, hey, Jesus is mad at you. Sorry, what did you just say? I said, Jesus is mad at you. Oh, Jesus is mad at you. Yeah. I was like, I thought you said Jesus is the manager. I was like, what?
Yeah, he is too. Yeah,
Jesus is the manager. But yeah, I was like, I felt weird about it, but I was like, hey, you should probably take that off. And he just looked so confused because he thought I was going to be like, hey.
Did you know you were talking about his cross though?
Yeah, I
Did
like.
you point to it?
Mm-hmm. Nice. It was like only a necklace, and I said you should probably take that off.
Good. I mean, you're older than me, but I have a proud dad moment right now. That's really great. So.
I'd love to say that I'm confident like it was the right thing to do. It's just in the moment it felt like I just, like you were saying, like I was almost like angry that he would do that. And I was like, I don't care that you do that, because if God's not real, if God's not alive, then you can do whatever you want technically. So like whatever. But to claim that the God who created the universe, who says that was wrong, and to do it 3 times just to entertain your buddies as they watch you basically teach them that the cross means nothing.
Right.
And it irritated me, and so I was trying to be
It's
respectful.
just a for show.
Yeah.
I hope it helped him. I don't know if I would do that again, but like it didn't feel great in the moment for me, but mostly just because I was upset,
Yeah.
But anyway, like it's hard for me to see that, because I'm like, you don't understand the respect that I have for God, and it's not because I'm holier than thou. It's because like I do not deserve anything He's given me, and yet He cares for me. And I'm so grateful. And how dare you, disrespect His reputation?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand like He doesn't need defended.
Right.
He is enough on His own. He doesn't need me to defend Him. But
I don't want to.
I will, because I love Him.
No, you're good. I don't want to pull too much away from this on a tangent, but I kind of on the same topic. I heard a really great quote recently by John Mark Comer. The quote is, the gospel has been regularly preached in such a way where you can become a Christian without becoming a disciple of Jesus Christ.
Oh.
And I guess my question
He
to you...
just shot me in the heart.
Yeah. And
I remember reading that from his book.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I guess I have a question to that situation, I guess. I'll keep it on the same topic. Do you think, not that all the blame needs to be shifted off of that kid, but do you think that could just be the culture of Christianity that he grew up in or that he saw in church? Is it fair to blame and more of an institution rather than him?
I mean, we don't know his story, but
right.
Yeah,
I
I
think
was gonna
specifically he has a cross. Like, it's like it means nothing.
I mean, if it meant like
but
if it meant I killed people, if the cross meant I just killed two people yesterday, he wouldn't wear it. So he has to know at least something about it, right?
It's like a fashion
I was,
statement.
Maybe it's just that.
It's
but
jewelry. It's gold, and people get crosses because it's like a.
That was a
thing.
really morbid example, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I was gonna say, but I'll say 2 things. One, he's just a kid.
Yeah.
He's got growing up to do. We all have a sin nature. All of us are. There's no one good, not one. I'm not criticizing him. I'm not judging him. If I knew his name, I would never, out him like that or anything. Mm-hmm. But 2, American Christianity is, for the most part, devastating to me. Mm-hmm. Like it makes me really sad. Like when you see people like half naked and then they got a cross necklace, and I'm like, like He created you for so much more. And it's not me judging them in a way of just like look at those stupid people, but it's just like the more that I pursue Him, the more I realize how much people are missing out on that is completely available to them. And even for me, like doing my best, I still feel like I just want more of Him. Mm-hmm. So to see people be like, we joked about this in the last episode, but to see people treat Jesus like a vaccine, where they want just enough to like to get Him in their bloodstream and build a tolerance to Him, but they don't want to actually catch Him. You know what I mean? They want to just they want like a little dose, but not enough to actually make change in their life. And also in the book of James, it says that if someone who has a faith without works, meaning it doesn't change their life, it doesn't change the way that they behave, it doesn't change the things they do, then their faith is dead. DEAD, dead, gone. You don't have a faith if it doesn't change your life.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times recently and also in my life in general that what I want and what I end up doing, the difference is, what does the Bible say is right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm so mad. I just want to like tell that person what I think and blah, 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 whatever. And then I happen to be reading in Matthew that day, and it says when somebody, wrongs you to turn the other cheek, to forgive them as you've been forgiven. And I'm like, I don't like that, but I like you, I don't like that, but I love you and you have forgiven me. Who am I to not forgive somebody else?
Right.
I'll chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And then, to go off what you were saying earlier, like culture, American Christianity today is just saying a prayer, going home.
Yeah.
Amen. That's it. If the Cowboys play in the afternoon, we go in the morning. But if they play in the morning or in the afternoon, church in the afternoon. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
or just skip church because I find my church on the open field. I find my church is painting myself blue and screaming for the Broncos.
Yeah, and
where
obviously we have
winners
we have lives, and we can enjoy different things. But it's just like, what's the real priority?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you can't switch up your times on Sundays of what time you go to church, but it's just it's just what the priorities
Just
are.
where's your heart?
Yeah, where's your heart? Is church is God really not church, but is God really the most important thing? And church is obviously an avenue, and He's calling us to be in the body of Christ, which is the church. But it's just turned into that. It's not can I be a disciple of Jesus? It's just how can I do good enough just to get by?
Yeah. How much time we have?
I don't know.
Just got to keep going.
Yeah, we can just
Forever.
wrap it up. But I just want to say, like, I pray that we can become more like the churches I've heard of in Africa and in the underground China and the church that's growing right now in Japan. Like, I pray that one day we can be more like them, because like they are persecuted hardcore. Some arrested, some murdered, some everything for their faith.
Yeah.
And yet they refuse to stop. And here, if there was like a government mandate that Christianity is illegal, anybody caught with a Bible or that claims to be a follower of Jesus Christ will be put to death, how many people would be like, oh, I never knew him? How many people would deny him?
Yeah.
For me, honestly, it sounds dorky, but that was part of the reason why I got a cross tattoo. Somewhere that you could always see it is I don't have the option to deny him anymore. If somebody put a gun to my head and said like, are you a Christian? I'd be like, guilty, pop me. Like let's go.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of that verse, for I am not ashamed of the gospel. I probably was actually at one point when I should retract maybe a little bit what I said. I would, if people were to ask, I would not deny. But I probably would have at some point. And then at some point I would have not denied and said I was a Christian, but I wasn't truly following him. But I think at some point I probably would have been like, oh, I'm not really Christian. Like, I don't really know if there's a God. Like, maybe, I don't know, Jonah and the whale, who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, those types of things.
Jonah and the whale, who knows?
Yeah, just those types of things. I probably would have denied at first, and then at a certain point I wouldn't have denied, but admitted I wasn't being a Christ follower. But exactly like you said, if you give this hypothetical scenario, it's like, how many people are going to be ashamed of the gospel now?
It was a badge of honor to call myself a Jack Mormon back in the day. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, like I'm a Mormon, but I'm a
Jack
cool
Mormon. Yeah, literally, it was like a secret underground. Like, yeah, obviously Mormons are not Christians, but I just remember that coming up in my mind of like, I used to say that.
Just
to
like
fit
using the
in.
title to feel cool.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, you're talking about like when people would like
Yeah.
be like, oh, you're Mormon. You're like, oh, well, I'm a Jack Mormon.
I wouldn't correct him.
I kissed
but-
my girlfriend.
Yeah, maybe I'd probably.
What?
I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Before I'm 16. What?
What? You absolute
I
sinner.
want to talk about legalism. Just kidding.
Anyway, moving on. But no, I think that was good. I just I hope if anybody like felt offended by that I hope it's just calling you up and towards God who loves you. It's not boxes you need to check. It's for you. You're only hurting yourself by not pursuing him, honestly. I mean, we're never going to know. No one's ever going to know. But just to go to your room in the quiet of your house, no one around, and just talk with the God who created you. Like, when's the last time you did that?
Yep. Say sorry if I've been casual, or have I been casual? Can you make it known to me? If I have been, I'm sorry. Like I want that to change. Like show me how I can change.
I want you.
And like you said, it's not a checkbox mentality.
Yeah.
But it's just about prioritizing God in your life in whatever way that looks like. Whether it's scripture reading more, or spending time serving in your church, or listening to an audio Bible, or listening to things, or just thinking about God while you're doing dishes, or changing a diaper, or
God, why? I'm just kidding.
Praise Jesus, this butt is clean now.
just abiding
I mean, you would
in
know that
him.
more than any of us. We don't have kids. You do.
Yeah,
man.
but just abiding in him and thinking of him throughout the day. Just whatever those things, like I said, it's not a checkbox, but there are things you could do to get closer to him and to connect with him.
Yeah, he says, if you draw near to him, he will draw near to you, you know, so.
Definitely.
Anyway, we'll wrap that there, but hopefully that was helpful to at least somebody. So, awesome.
What?
Yeah. Bye.
Peace.